Nativity by Jan Dean. When God decided to be bones and skin and blood like us, he didn't choose a palace, nothing grand, no frills and fuss. He slipped in through the back door with the straw and hay and dust. He just became a baby with no choice but to trust and love us without question, as every baby must. But creation knew the wonder of this tiny newborn king. The crystal depths of space were touched, the air itself would sing. The word is flesh. The silence of the glittering stars is shattered. Heaven rings. The sky blazed wild with angels whose song was fire and snow when God lay in his mother's arms 2,000 years ago.
A dream of things to come. Mary was singing. It was an old song, but that didn't matter. Once, 1,000 years ago, it had been sung by a woman called Hannah. That was when she had found out she was expecting a baby. What would Mary's child become? Mary had exchanged the words of the song a bit. She had sung it so many times now, but she couldn't stop going back again and again over the way things had happened. It had all started with a really clear dream in broad daylight. The tiny dark room with its few pots and pans and hardly any furniture had suddenly been full of light, and there stood the messenger. She hadn't even had to ask who he was. She had known straight away. It was the angel Gabriel.
She had heard as well as seen. She could still hear that voice inside her head. "Greetings," Gabriel had said. "Greetings. God is with you. You are a very special woman," the messenger paused. "Don't be frightened," he had said. Mary smiled as she remembered that. Frightened? She had been terrified. "Don't be frightened. I have come to give you good news. You are going to have a child, a very special child. It will be a boy. You are to call him Jesus. He will be God's own son. God has chosen you to be the mother." "But who is going to be the father?" she had asked, in a tiny shaking voice. "God himself," Gabriel had replied.
Then the messenger had gone. He had simply vanished as quickly as he had come. Mary had been left alone, sitting in the dark room. Who would believe her? Nobody else had seen the messenger or heard him speak. Then there was Joseph. What would he think? She had been going to marry Joseph, a carpenter from Nazareth. Would he believe her story? He would not want to marry her now, but another surprise was waiting for her.
Joseph met her. "We're going to get married after all," he said. "I had a dream. It was so clear. I can still feel it now. a messenger, an angel, stood right in front of me. "Mary, Mary," he said, "the child she is going to have is a very special one. It belongs to God himself. She must call it Jesus." Something strange was happening. Mary felt frightened, but she felt excited as well. She started to sing again. She didn't know it, but it was a song that would last forever, a song which would change the world.
one in a barn. The donkey plodded along the dusty track. At its side walked a man. Upon its back sat his wife. Joseph and Mary were on their way to Bethlehem from the town of Nazareth, where they lived. Normally, the man would ride on a donkey and the woman would walk, but this was not a normal journey. Mary was expecting a baby. It was due any day now. Joseph didn't want it to be born before they got to Bethlehem. He did not want to be traveling at all. Nobody liked it, but everyone had to do it. The Roman governor had made an order. Every man will take his family and go back to his home village to be registered.
Then he'll be told how much tax he has to pay. That was what the governor had said. Usually, Joseph would have been quite glad to go back to Bethlehem, but this was the worst possible time. The road seemed endless. They had to travel slowly and rest often. Other people kept overtaking them, but at last the little town of Bethlehem came into sight. Not long now. The donkey picked its way down the hillside towards the town. Below, the streets looked very full. There were people everywhere. Joseph led the donkey towards the first inn. He hammered at the door. Before Joseph could say anything, the innkeeper spoke. No room, he shouted. There are people knocking at the door all the time. We're full up. Joseph's face fell. I have to find a room, he said. My wife is expecting a baby any minute. Joseph went back to the donkey.
A voice behind him made him turn around. Excuse me. What is it? Asked Joseph. I overheard what you said to my husband at the inn, said the woman. The inn really is full, but if you are in trouble, you can use the barn at the back. It's dry and the wind doesn't get in, but we use it as a stable for donkeys and cattle. Joseph looked at Mary. She was very tired. It would have to do. He turned to the woman, nodded, and said, Thank you. You are very kind. Inside, the barn smelt of animals and old straw. It was getting dark. Joseph unloaded the donkey and made a rough bed for Mary. He found an old oil lamp and lit it. Its flickering flame threw shadows onto the walls of the barn. The animals in one corner looked at them but did nothing.
That night, the baby was born. The woman from the inn came and helped. The newborn baby was wrapped in strips of clean rags. The woman placed him in the manger from which the cows normally ate their food. He will be safe there, she said. It's off the ground, so there's no draft, and he won't get trodden on. Outside, it was a dark and windy night. Joseph knew he would not get much sleep, but he was glad to be indoors. There must be people still out on the hillside, but they would not trouble him. Nobody knew they were here.
The night visitors. The night was dark. The clouds, pushed by the west wind, moved quickly in front of the stars. There was no moon. Up on the hills, a small group of shepherds kept watch. They listened for those small noises in the night, which might tell them that a wolf or a jackal was after their sheep. There was nothing, only the sound of the wind. Suddenly, without warning, something strange began to happen. The clouds to the east began to grow lighter. The light got stronger and stronger. The shepherds became uneasy. They began to move closer together. What is it? Asked one. His voice shook. I've never seen anything like it, said another. The light in the cloud became brighter and brighter. Get down, whispered one of the shepherds. The light was now as bright as the full moon shining on them.
Some powerful force was near them. They could feel it, but they could see nothing, only the bright light all around them. Suddenly, out of the night, a voice spoke to them. "Don't be frightened," it said. "I've come to bring you good news. In the town of Bethlehem, a baby has been born. He is the Christ child, the Saviour of the world. Go and worship him. You'll find him lying in a manger." The brightness went out of the light. The shepherds looked up. They clambered to their feet and looked around. There was nothing there, but the vision was not over yet. The sky glowed again. This time, it was a softer light, spreading right across the eastern sky. A distant sound of voices echoed across the hills. They sang, "Glory to God in the highest, peace to all men on earth."
Ding dong merrily on high, and the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily the sky is lit with angels singing. Hosanna in excelsis.
"Come on," said the head shepherd. "Where to?" "Down to Bethlehem, of course. It's the only way to find out if we've been imagining things." "What about the sheep?" "They will be safe," replied the leader. "If God is really here, they will be just fine." The shepherds hurried down the hillside. They came to the track which led into the small town. Everywhere was in darkness, except one small building. The shepherds stopped. They looked at each other, and without saying a word, knew exactly what the other was thinking. Of course, they each thought to themselves.
The voice had said that this baby was to be found in a manger, of all places. The shepherds turned and crept towards the door where the light was. Slowly they pushed it open. There, on the straw, lay a young woman. Next to her, a man. He stood up. "My wife has just had a baby," he said in a tired voice. He pointed to a small bundle lying in a manger. "Peace," replied the head shepherd. "Peace. That is what your child is going to bring. Peace to the world." The shepherds could not find the right words to say, but it did not matter. They made their way back up the hillside. Something wonderful had happened. The sheep were perfectly safe, just as they had left them.
Strangers from the east. 3 visitors had ridden in from the desert on their camels. It was easy to see that they had come from the east. They were dark-skinned and proud. They were wise, too. You could see that in their faces. Who were these dark strangers? What did they know? What signs had they seen to make them so sure that something important had happened? What had made them travel hundreds of miles across the desert sand? They had travelled for days, pausing only to drink a little water and to stretch their legs. Riding camels was uncomfortable, and especially so in the intense heat. Once past the city of Jerusalem, they turned to the south, towards Bethlehem. Above them, the stars shone brightly. One star in particular was very bright. That had been their sign all along, guiding their every move.
Bethlehem was only 10 kilometres away. The journey was quickly over. Now they seemed to be right underneath the star. It took them no time at all to find Mary and Joseph and the young Jesus child. The 3 kingly men bowed low to get in the door. It was a strange scene. They knelt on the floor and solemnly gave their gifts they had brought. They were not presents for a baby or a little boy. They were gifts for a king: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They bowed and left. The 3 strange visitors went away the day after they had left. From Bethlehem, they went straight back into the desert from where they came.
Of
Balthasar. A cold coming we had of it. Yes, it was cold, of course, especially the nights. But we had furs and tents, good fires and lights. The camel men were unruly, but they always are. You couldn't really complain. And that fantastic star impressed even them. Melchior kept on about the cold, but he wasn't well, and face it, he was too old for such a journey. For Caspar and me, though, I'd say it was a true adventure, so exciting. A great day for astrology too, just as we'd predicted. Everything. Time, place, birth, animals. It's true. The king wasn't quite what we'd thought. A bit of a disappointment, but we left our gifts, the gold, the herbs, the ointment, made our speeches. The mother didn't seem too amazed, seemed to have expected us. And no, it hasn't raised the profile of astrology. A good 30 years have passed, and what with these Jerusalem riots, all that has got lost. But I shan't forget the absolute delight of that strange journey, and we were all three quite certain something world-changing had happened that night.
Amazing peace. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow, falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and grey and threatening.
We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We worry God. Are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancour, come the way of friendship.
It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches, breeding in dark corridors. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully. As it gathers strength, we hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder, louder than the explosion of bombs.
We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds.
We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community.
It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues at the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud: peace. We look at our world and we speak the word aloud: peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say, without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul.
I
13th day of Christmas, my true love phoned me up, by Dave Calder. Well, I suppose I should be grateful. You've obviously gone to a lot of trouble and expense, or maybe off your head. Yes, I did like the birds. The small ones anyway were fun, if rather messy. But now the hens have roosted on my bed, and the rest are nested on the wardrobe. It's hard to sleep with all that cooing, let alone the cackling of the geese, whose eggs are everywhere, but mostly in a broken, smelly heap on the sofa. No, why should I mind? I can't get any peace anywhere. The lounge is full of drummers thumping tom-toms, and sprawling lords crashed out from manic leaping.
The kitchen is crammed with cows and milkmaids and smells of 1,000,000 stink bombs and enough sour milk to last a year. The pipers, I'd forgotten them. They were no trouble. I'd paid them and they went. But I can't get rid of these young ladies. They won't stop dancing or turn the music down, and they're always in the bathroom, squealing as they skid across the flooded floor. No, I don't need a plum around. It's just the swans. Where else can they swim? Poor things. I think they're going mad, like me. When I went to wash my hands, one ate the soap, another swallowed the golden rings. And the pear tree died. Too dry, but thank you, anyway.
May the joy of Christmas fill your heart with warmth and compassion, transcending the boundaries of faith and embracing the universal spirit of love. May the light of hope shine brightly upon you, guiding you through darkest nights and illuminating the path of kindness. May the festive season bring peace to your soul, fostering understanding and harmony among people of different faiths and beliefs. In this season of giving, may generosity and goodwill abound, uniting us in a shared sense of humanity. And may this season be a time of reflection, gratitude, and renewed hope. I wish you and your families a very happy Christmas.
My true love sent to me, sent was a swimming.